Hello, and thank you for joining Strategic Marketing 2021. My name is Jasmine Keys, and you are tuned in to a 15-minute fireside chat with Ukonwa Ojo, the Global Chief Marketing Officer at Amazon Prime Video and Studios. Let's jump in. Video streaming services like Amazon Prime Video and your competitors like Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus are obviously having a dramatic impact on TV advertising. So Ukonwa, thank you so much for joining us. How is the on-demand culture shift changing the way marketers use traditional advertising channels like television to connect with their audiences?
Yeah, hi Jasmine, very good to be here, and hello everyone. Yeah, I think there's definitely a major shift that's happening at the moment. We try to kind of segment our customers into three different buckets. We have, the folks that we call the cord nevers, like they've basically never been attached to a television screen in a traditional way. A lot of Gen Z will fall into that. And so for customers like that, we have to reach them in other ways on social platforms, through influencers, things like that. We have the folks that we call the cord cutters, and those are folks who used to be attached to a television screen, but have now cut the cord, whether it's from cable or whatever. And for folks like that, we have a hybrid strategy where we reach them through traditional mobile platforms, but then we know that for certain events, like sports events, like Super Bowl and things like that, they'll gather with friends, and they're likely to harken back to television if needed. And so we follow a hybrid approach to reach those customers. So some of them through television advertising, and some of them through mobile or other OTT providers. And then we have folks we still have a lot of customers who still watch traditional television. We have customers from the very young to the very old and everybody in between, and they still watch the traditional television. And we have a still healthy part of our marketing budget to reach customers there, because especially on some of our larger shows and our big tentpoles, we want to make sure that we're speaking to as many people as possible. And for campaigns like that, we leverage all the tools and the channels that are available to us.
Brilliant. And I guess when people are watching watching television now, it's not really the number one screen. Our phone, our mobile devices are the number one screen now. How do you find that's impacting the way people are kind of engaging with whether it's on-demand channels or TV?
Yeah. I love that, actually, because I think it's made our shows more interactive, because we know that even if they're watching it on a big screen, they have a smaller screen present, or multiple smaller screens present. So we're able to leverage technology like watch parties, for example, where people are able to watch on a mobile device with their friends, and they can chat along the way. And so even on our platform, we've created technology for that. It allows people to be very social about what they're watching. And so we've seen engagement and conversation about our shows really increase, because as they may be watching it on the larger screen, for those who still do that in a traditional sense, they're having conversations with the community that also loves that show on social platforms. And the reason why they're able to do that is because they have all of those screens. And so we like the multi-dimensional experience of entertainment today, and we build our customer journey with that in mind, knowing that even if they're watching primarily on one screen, they're probably interacting with the show on multiple screens, on multiple platforms. And so as we design our marketing campaigns, we have to be very intentional about building that, knowing that our customers are doing that exact thing.
I love that multi-dimensional interaction. That's really cool. And I guess it's something that we've been coming to over the past 10 years, isn't it? But I think Amazon Prime Video, as kind of, I guess, one of the newer streaming services in a way, it must be a priority for you. Can you tell me a few examples or an example of how you've created that multi-dimensional marketing strategy?
Yeah, so a lot of times for our shows, we launch most of our shows on Friday. And because we know that people are watching it with online and social communities, a lot of times we'll host watch parties on Twitch or we'll host watch parties on Twitter. And we know that people are watching it with other people in a community and they're chatting about it along the way. So we'll say, hey guys, we're gonna have a watch party 8 p.m. Central Time or 8 p.m. Eastern Time, whatever the Pacific Time. Everybody gathers around, and regardless of what screen they're watching it on, they're communicating with each other. So when the big moments happen, or the sad moments happen, or the funny moments happen, they're not only sharing it with others through our watch party application, but they're also tweeting about it. They're also live streaming it on platforms such as Twitch, which we absolutely love. It's such an interactive platform. So yeah, we actually set up our launches for our shows with that in mind, because we know that if we have a community that watches it together, it elevates the experience for everyone. And it really drives conversation and exposes it to other people. And so that's become a very standard way, to be honest, about how we launch our shows on the weekends.
That's fantastic. And you really have launched a lot of shows over the past year. It's pretty incredible. You only started in September 2020.
Yeah,
Busy time to start, I'm sure.
Exactly a year, which is really, really cool.
Incredible. And yeah, like I said, you've released some quite extraordinary numbers of titles. So I'm sure there's a variety of factors that kind of have resulted in that increase. But how long do you think it would have taken to get to this volume if it wasn't for the pandemic and everyone kind of having so much time at home?
No, it's been really great. I mean, the pandemic was hard on all of us. It was a very lonely period for a lot of people. We were in lockdown, we were in our homes, and we learned a lot of skills during that time. We watched a lot of shows during that time. But I think it's really important, though, to note that we had really great momentum coming into the pandemic. Even prior to 2020, we had been seeing very significant growth on the Prime Video business. And that obviously accelerated and increased as we had more time to take in and binge more shows. But we came into the year with a lot of really great momentum. The last public information we had was last year, we had 175 million streamers around the world, which was incredible. We saw their hours streamed increase 70% last year for us, which was also really incredible. So yeah, it's been a really great time to not only continue the momentum that we had on the business, but to bring a lot of people in as well, and to introduce a lot of people to what we believe is actually an incredible value, because the same Amazon that really helped us all in some ways stay alive because we were able to shop when we weren't able to leave our homes. That same service that was able to deliver things to you in record time was the same service that kept you company when you were lonely. And it was such an incredible value for our members to be there for them during one of the most difficult years of our lives. So yeah, it was a very interesting time. It did have an impact on us. We did have to postpone some of our shows because whether it was with COVID protocols and things like that, it took us longer from a production standpoint. We either had to stop productions or it elongated certain productions, which made the entire process take longer. But on the flip side, we also had the opportunity to have some theatrical acquisitions, which brought even more value to our customers. We were able to acquire Coming to America as an example, which we had as part of our shows, Without Remorse, Tomorrow War. So these were large, big theatrical movies that, in addition to our award-winning slate that people know us for, we were able to add all these theatrical movies to our slate. And so when our customers kind of looked at the value that they get for their membership, I would say the last year was really a great one for momentum and growth for us.
Brilliant. And you know, I think I'm sure you agree that it is an on-demand culture shift and it will only continue to grow. So prior to your role at Amazon, you were the global CMO for MAC Cosmetics, the world's #1 makeup brand, which has kind of a smaller, more defined target audience, right? So your team now is more reaching a big global audience and one of the largest audiences. So can you tell me a little bit more about how you're segmenting that audience, capturing your customers' needs, personalizing each connection, and really ensuring the content promoted to each individual customer is enriching their lives? Tell me about your data and analytics.
Yeah. I think the great thing actually coming into this role is one of the things that made MAC so great was that MAC was really global. So MAC was in 100 countries. And so being able to come into this role with that context of having spoken to very intimately, because people think about beauty as a very personal thing, it's a very intimate thing, and being able to build that relationship with customers in 100 countries and bringing that into the world of streaming has actually been really valuable. So yes, obviously coming into Amazon Prime Video, now we're in 240 countries. It's tremendous scale, but that same level of intimacy, that same level and drive of wanting to really understand your customers and what makes them participate, what makes them engage, what makes them passive, what takes them from passive to highly engaged. That journey is a journey that we have to know intimately well in beauty. And it's been really great to learn from all of the work that's been done at Amazon prior to joining, but to also bring some of the knowledge and some of the experience from beauty as well. And you talked about data and analytics. It's great to be able to see from a behavioral standpoint what our customers are watching, how long they're watching it for, how they switch between genres. And then you can really we have profiles, so we're able to know what the kids in the households are watching versus what the adults are watching. And so that allows us to really tailor marketing on platform and off platform to our customers and make the experience very, very personalized. We're also very fortunate because our customers give us a gift, and that gift is reviews. And in addition to the content and their interaction with the content, we also know that they are either having conversations with communities like we talked about on social, or they're going on Amazon.com and they're sharing reviews, from 1 star to 5 star, and written comments, very deep, long written comments about what their experience was like. And that knowledge is so valuable to us. We take all of that information in addition to the technology and the algorithms that we have, and build a very bespoke, personalized experience for all of our customers. And that's how we build an experience that keeps them coming back over and over again.
Brilliant. And customers do expect that. They expect that personalized experience. I mean, they have for some time, but even more so now. I think the bit that stands out to me is that word participation. I think that's what marketers are really striving for now. And it brings me back to that multi-dimensional experience that you were talking about at the beginning, because Amazon, Prime Video, it continues to evaluate the current and future state of the world. So, it makes a point at executing global marketing campaigns that involve diverse audiences and drive social buzz. So that participation makes me think of those water cooler moments that drive talkability.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about what talkability and driving talkability means to you.
Yeah, so in entertainment, talkability is everything. But even prior to joining Amazon, that's something that I've always been really passionate about. And that is, I believe that the best marketing lies at the intersection of brands and culture. And to have marketing that really resonates and drives participation, you really have to understand popular culture. You really have to understand people where they are, what they're really passionate about, what they hate, what they love, what they cry about, what makes them angry. You have to understand holistically how culture is evolving, because once you do, it's easy to then figure out how to take everything that's amazing about your brand and that's real and relevant and authentic about your brand and bring that into a cultural conversation in a way that feels right, in a way that feels real, in a way that feels authentic. And so from a marketing perspective for us, that is the bedrock to how we do marketing. We start all of the campaign processes for our shows talking about our customers and talking about culture. What's happening in culture? What's happening with our customers? Who do we think is really going to resonate with this type of work? And then we talk about how do we then take this work and make it relevant to customers, knowing all of this that we know about them. And that is how we know that whatever it is that we build and whatever it is we create is going to be resonant in culture. And then if you build on that, really designing the customer journey along the way and recognizing things like it's going to be a multidimensional experience. They're probably going to have multiple screens when they're having that conversation. You then know that there will be moments either during the campaign or during the show when they're likely to interact with other people. How do you design the experience then, knowing that? And those are the types of conversations that we have as a team all the time, because that's when it feels like you're not just having an entertainment experience, you're having a cultural experience.
Fantastic. And I think that's a really great note to end on. The idea that your campaigns, of course, are influenced by culture, and marketing has a profound impact on society and culture. And we're going to be talking about that a lot over the next 2 days. I'm going to end it there. And thank you so much, Okonwa Ojo, the Global CMO for Amazon Prime Video.
Awesome. Thank you, Jasmine. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.